Hello, what's up? My name is Jeremy Ginsberg, and this is going to be a vlog type video. Right now, I'm filming this in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Sipping on some bulletproof tea. Change your thinking, change your world. And I haven't made a vlog in a while. There's a reason for that. But I'm hoping to just talk out loud, evolve out loud, talk about what's been going on, and hope that it'll make me feel better, make you feel better, and that we can all win and benefit. I've noticed in my my healing journey, this is water and salt. Super salty. I've noticed in my personal journey that what's been most helpful is honestly just being able to express without judgment, being able to just say what's on my mind. So I hope that I can just do that here because I don't have as much support here in Minnesota as I do in the amazing community of Chiang Mai. I'm not with my girlfriend June, so just gonna go with it. Kyle C says that as soon as you say what's on your mind or say whatever you're thinking, you free yourself from that thought. As soon as you accept it, see it, just turn off the resistance and even love it, then you become free from those thoughts, those fears. So that's what I'm kind of hoping to do in this, and already it feels good. Alright, where do I begin? So if you're new and this is the first video you're watching, welcome. It's good to have you. I don't usually always dress this nice. But basically, I've been on this crazy healing, transformational, spiritual journey since late 2015. And at this point, I feel resistance to seek new perspectives because it's hard to find something that's completely brand new. But also, there's this inner resistance from me that just says the external research isn't going to help. And I know that's not completely true. But what has been more helpful and just given me more answers, more relief, has been the internal research of just trusting that I know what's best for my body, which is extremely paradoxical because at the end of the day, I also don't know why I've been in so much pain, so many headaches. And I think the hardest part about these last few months is because 2016, I spent 6 months in the U.S. just looking for answers, looking for cures, going to doctors, internists, ears, nose, throat, headache specialists, and then essentially when conventional medicine didn't really have much to offer, and they had plenty of options and pills, but the last time I said no to the pill is basically it's just we don't know what's going on, this could help. And then some of the other things this doctor said I definitely disagreed with. So it was more just who was I taking my advice from? And then that led to just the more holistic side, Ayurvedic, Chinese medicine, acupuncture. And then that's put me on this crazy spiritual path of just looking inwards and asking a lot of questions. But being back here in Minnesota is a little bit frustrating because 2016 I was here for 6 months, and in some senses, I feel like I'm in a similar boat where I'm just have no idea. I had a great 2017. I feel like I made a lot of progress. I moved to Chiang Mai. I had a beautiful community. I had 2 circles that met every week. One was a men's circle where we just sat and really supported each other and just grew, and we were able to express and talk about our feelings, and just this beautiful sacred environment that I believe was integral to our species over the last thousands of years, but in recent times, men get together and drink alcohol or watch sports and fight or do other things. And so it's nice to be able to express that feminine side of ourselves in a circle of men. So that's been really powerful. I had like a creative writing group where we met every week. Felt like I had a lot of support. Obviously, I was living with my girlfriend June, and we just like created our own tribe. We've been living together for, I don't know, like a year, 9 months, and we created our own little family. It was just us two, but we have that. And so 2017, I felt like I was making a lot of progress. I discovered, didn't find it. I discovered a Buteyko breathing method, which was nice because they basically said like, oh, you got migraines? That's fine. It'll take 3 months, but we got this. You can do it. And that was just extremely motivating for me, inspiring to be like, there's something out there. It makes sense. It's this new breathing technique. I've been doing the Wim Hof method before, but had kind of hit a wall and figured it was time for something new, time to sacrifice the good for the better. Or for my sake, it's sacrificing something that I know helps for something that actually may, work and be the modality or be this huge groundbreaking technique that really helps me be free from pain and get out of this hell of chronic pain and headaches. So that was positive, but basically these last few months have been really tough. Started early mid-February. So I went on a retreat. I went on a yoga retreat for like 24 hours, and I played music. I held a breath workshop. That just felt awesome. But then as soon as I returned home from that, it was just tough. The air quality in Chiang Mai, I think that had to do with it. But basically I spent like a week in Chiang Mai just like miserable, just like really getting a lot of headaches, not feeling well, not feeling like I could work. And I started a new coaching business at the end of 2017, which I love. It's super exciting. I was working with my sister. We had a marketing agency, it was fun, and I could use my creativity, and it was pretty good money. But at the end of the day, a lot of the work just seemed heavy. And I feel like one gift that this chronic pain has been able to allow me to discover is not to do things in life that feel heavy. I'm making this video because it feels light, because I honestly feel like it needs to come out of me. I don't feel like we want to get approval or likes or views, and that external validation is going to make me feel better. I'm doing this because of the act right now, and it feels light. It feels easy. It's almost easier to make this video than to not, because I've been meditating and journaling, and I feel like there's just a lot of stuff that I just need to get off my chest. And so the coaching business feels really light. I really love working with my clients. I've got some amazing people I'm working with, but even that started feeling like a struggle. And the more pain that I was in, the harder it was to show up and be there, supporting, holding space for my client. And that's just been a big mind fuck, to be honest. Sorry for swearing. I knew I was about to swear, but I did it anyways, and I apologized for it. So that was just like weeks in February. But I was like, all right, whatever. So I'm going to Brazil to host this digital detox camp. There's like at the time, dream event. It was super exciting. I got to help out with two really close friends and my girlfriend June. And it's in the mountains of Brazil. We've been marketing and promoting it for a while. We got a couple people to sign up. It's not like we're getting loaded, but made some profit. And so we go to Brazil. And I'm super excited for this, but landing in Brazil, I'm like, it really hit me that it's the first time I've really lived outside of this conscious spiritual bubble in Chiang Mai. In Chiang Mai, there's so many places where I can get vegan food, vegetarian food, no sugar, no MSG. It's just a very health conscious society. And I don't want to say one is better than the other, but that's just what I found was much better for me. And I'd done a lot of experimenting and fasting and a lot of fruitarian-based diet. And I just felt like I had a community there. I had support. People understood what I was going through. They supported me. They had ideas, and it just felt like it was my family. Like I felt like I could I could be myself, and I felt like I wasn't constantly explaining myself or struggling to fit in. And going to Brazil was like this big wake up call of like there's just like lots of meat, lots of cheese, processed food, not as healthy, and also that's the case here in the States. But I think just coming from Chiang Mai, going to a big city in Brazil where a lot of the culture just revolves around drinking, lots of bread, lots of cheese, and again that's totally fine. But I just found my sweet spot was really just mostly fruit, like mostly raw diet, and that's where I was coming from. So I go to Brazil. First couple of days, I'm not feeling well, but like, all right, we got this event coming up. The event rolls around. The day we drove up, I was just feeling so sick. I had a headache. I was nauseous, and we stopped at this beautiful lunch spot on the way that overlooks the mountains with this beautiful, beautiful view. But it was super cloudy, and I remember, you know, looking across this beautiful valley, but you couldn't see anything. It was so cloudy, and I was just thinking, I was like, that's kind of how my life felt. It was just like there's so many beautiful things out there. The beautiful view, there's this majestic nature waiting to be consumed by our eyes, but you couldn't see it because there's clouds, there's fog in the way. And that's kind of how I felt. I was like, I'm in Brazil, I'm doing this event, there's mountains, beautiful people around me, but I can't enjoy any of it because I just feel like shit. That was kind of this metaphor. And the retreat, the event, Digital Detox Camp, ended up being a really fun event. I got to be in my purpose many occasions. I led meditation, led some Wim Hof breathing. We had music jams. I performed a little at the town show. I led a workshop on business mindset. We did a Q&A on digital nomading and how to turn your business from on the ground in-person business to online. We had business masterminds where I was able to provide, and it felt really light and easy. I felt like this is great. I'm able to share my expertise and wisdom and help other people and hang out, and it felt like, wow, this is awesome. It was pretty much a gap between like personal development and spirituality and business and goal setting and productivity. So these like left brain and right brain, meeting together and everything in between. And that felt good, but there was one day, the first day going there, I just felt horrible. And then even during the retreat, I was still getting headaches. And I had to end up forfeiting one of my talks. I was going to give a talk on creativity and flow state, which I was excited and had a lot of fun exercises to do, but ended up getting high and laying down in my room. And it was very humbling. This whole journey has been humbling. But that was just another circumstance where I felt like I had this beautiful opportunity to serve, to live in my purpose, to give my gift, to do something I'm passionate about that really helps other people, and then the headaches getting in the way. And it's heartbreaking, and that's happened on many occasions. Even with music, I'm not able to play and share my music like I used to. I used to have gigs every week, or I was performing or singing with other people. I used to do more Facebook Lives, and it really felt good to like be able to sing and entertain people and make them laugh and be present and share my art and express and all these things and crack jokes. And it's a different setting in a bar, being on stage with a microphone, but I really miss that. And ever since then, I feel like I've just been like searching for ways where I can feel in alignment, feel on purpose, give a gift, help other people, be of service to the world and to the universe when I'm not in pain. And for a while, I thought music was that, and then I thought coaching was that, or maybe throwing this event, and then it's just like this big slap in the face of, I kind of feel like the universe is just like, oh, here, we can do this, it's going to be awesome. And then it's like, go, sit down, lay down, rest, and meditate. Go inward, figure out who you are more before you're ready to live in this material world. And fuck, man, it's hard. So there I am in Brazil, like crying because I'm excited to throw this retreat and I can't even participate. But that was fine. I ended up making it through that. That was nothing new, and I felt a little heartbroken, but life goes on. But the rest of my Brazil trip continued giving me, emotional swings. After that retreat, I ended up going to sit with ayahuasca and a couple ceremonies, and that ayahuasca has. I don't even know where to start, but essentially, if you've never heard of it, it's this sacred plant from the Amazon that has psychedelic qualities to it, and it's considered from the spiritual realm of here to help. And basically the ceremony is you drink it and then you sing songs, and it's extremely powerful medicine, very, very healing, and lots of wisdom and truth. And I just love the music. But I was in Brazil and I knew of this well-known shaman. So I figured we would go for a week, and I was, again, had these hopes up that it was going to be healing, that I could, really dig deep into this pain and what's going on and find some answers and be around other, hippies, because at this point I'm still really missing my crew in Chiang Mai and feeling like, all right, something's off. I feel empty. I'm not sure what it is, but let's get help, whatever. So we go, and it's great, and actually it was great. I was hoping it was going to be great, and a part of me is hoping, okay, maybe this is it, of me playing music and can be healing. But the first ceremony was fine, but after the third cup of the first ceremony, my body was just I can't take anymore. Second ceremony was actually a wedding, which is pretty cool, and I got to sing Love is the Way to this Brazilian couple who decided to get married at an ayahuasca ceremony, which is pretty crazy. But basically, ayahuasca was just way too much for my body to handle. The following day after the ceremonies, I just was so out of it. I couldn't sleep. It was a clear sign from my body, inside it out, my stomach, not just my head. Before, the head is just hey, we don't want to be around smoke, we don't want to be around loud noises, etc. We have these triggers, take a break. This was my whole body screaming, yelling out loud. And then even during the second ceremony, which was just straight up suffering, and I was just struggling the whole time, and I was just doing whatever I could just to make it through and breathe, and it was just a very difficult journey internally, but also externally. My body physically was just yo, this is not for us anymore. We need to stop this. The medicine itself said, hey, take a break, don't drink anymore for now. And again, that was really hard, because ayahuasca was it was one of the main things that kind of put me on this path of spirituality and believing that there is the spiritual world out there. And I'm not saying ayahuasca is great. I'm not saying it's horrible. Honestly, at this point, I really am starting fresh with all my perspectives and beliefs. But it was really powerful for me. My first few ceremonies was mind-blowing. To be around that much music, and to be around musicians that are so talented but also humble, and they sing, but it's not just for them to look cool. It's for the healing of the whole group and for the spirits, and these different elements and layers that I learned about was really awesome. And to go to Brazil, the place where it's from, and then to get this strong message of hey, not only is this not for you, but you're going to suffer through this whole thing, was just again, a huge slap in the face, and really heartbreaking as well. I happened to receive a song during that second ceremony that I posted called Minha Rainha, which is a song dedicated to the plants. But that whole night, I was just in so much pain, suffering, going through my own internal hell. My physical body didn't feel well. I had a headache. I had to take additional marijuana, and then the medicine at the same time is telling me hey, take a break, your body can't handle this, take a break. And I'm receiving this song that's so beautiful about the medicine, whatever, total mind fuck. So basically I ended up participating in the third ceremony, but I didn't drink any. I didn't take any of the ayahuasca. And the people facilitating, the shaman, not even the shaman, he's just the leader, musician, was we just want you there, you don't need to drink, whatever. But his wife, who helps out, was really pushing me. She's every time I have a headache, you should drink it. And every cup, she's come on, go, just urging me. I'm just no, get away. That was really challenging for me, because I'm in pain. I want to just escape, get out of it, and everyone else is doing it. But I stayed strong, didn't drink the third ceremony. Anyways, after that, it's just I didn't know where I was at, just like maybe too much soul searching, overdose of soul searching. But meanwhile, I'm still in a lot of pain. I'm not feeling well. And this is early March, and I have until late April when I'm staying in Brazil. And my girlfriend June and I had chosen Brazil because of this digital detox camp that we led. But she had a visa, and she's Vietnamese, so it's not exactly easy to pick up and go to Mexico or Colombia for her because she has to get a visa. So we go to Salvador, where I've got family friends there. And at that point, I'm thinking, okay, great, we can go settle down in a city, we can like make friends, and we don't have to move around so much and whatever. So we go to Salvador, and basically that ended up being really, really, really difficult. The host family we stayed with was amazing, but again, just different priorities, different values. They just weren't as healthy. They're not used to fruitarian or raw vegan. They eat a lot of meat and cheese and drink a lot of alcohol, and it's nothing super, out of the ordinary. But I'm just in this like sensitive space, and I'm like struggling. I don't have friends, and I'm not sure why I'm in so much more pain. So the first week I try to power through it. I'm like drinking coffee and eating weed and trying to do what I can to, grow the business and make videos and enroll new clients and keep up with the old clients and work and live and learn Portuguese, go out, find yoga studios, find a community, trying to figure out like, all right, what do I need to do to feel better? And then I just hit this burnout phase where I was just like in so much pain. I felt like I had no energy. I couldn't even think, total brain fog, fatigue. And I was just like, all right, this needs to stop. So I kind of just like stopped scheduling things, scheduled a bunch of like doctor appointments and healing sessions with people. And then what happened? And then, yeah, so then shit got kind of weird, because basically what happens is I'll be like feeling good, feeling confident, feeling like I'm on the right path, feeling like I've got things at least under somewhat control. I know what's going on. But then suddenly this whole tornado will just hit me, and then it'll knock me off my feet, and then I get into this complete desperation mode where I'm like, okay, I have no idea. I gotta go find more answers. I gotta go, basically, in this sense, it meant like open up my belief system so I can like invite some new perspectives that turned out to be more spiritual, energetic ones. But that's kind of been the story of this. It's like I'll get a headache and I'll feel like, okay, it's this diet is helping or this breathing exercise is helping. But then as soon as that doesn't, I'm like, all right, maybe it's not this. What else is out there? So I had some sessions with people that really opened up my eyes to what's going on as far as my body sensitivity wise. Because the headaches are one thing, but there's also, I'm so open, so sensitive, and I think that's the reason the ayahuasca wasn't a good idea. That's the reason, coffee or being around people. That's the reason I was just like going crazy when I was at this mall with all these people walking around. I just feel overwhelmed, but don't know why and don't know what to do. And basically their hypothesis is that my channels are open, and this aura field that we all have. For example, if you put your hand like really close to your face or someone else's, they can feel the presence of the hand before it actually touches. So this sense of, our body's sense of feeling the touch, but feeling the energy. And so basically the theory is that I'm open. So I pick up other people's energy, and my energy body thinks that it's mine. So I like that because it was new and it made somewhat logical sense, and it wasn't like too far out of my belief system zone where I had so many doubts. So I'm like, all right, great. What do I do? Their suggestion was like, go alone for 24 hours. Like, take a break. Your body's telling you to slow down. Like, it's okay. You're an angel, a star being, like all these spiritual terms that I'm still trying not to judge, but they're like, be alone. You're going to be fine. I love you, you're great, like you're waking up, and this is a part of the process, and you just need to allow your body to integrate and open up to the channel, don't be the channel, all these essentially like this similar things from different people. Basically just like you need to ground, you need to stay within your body, maintain your presence, and really ground yourself so you're not picking up other people's energy. But on paper, they're just kind of like be alone and chill and take a break and slow down. And your body is trying to tell you to slow down and surrender to the headaches and to your body and just let it be. So basically that turned into me just sleeping a lot and resting and meditating and doing guided meditations and guided visualizations and playing a little bit of music, but really just letting go of the fact that, all right, now I got to start the business, I got to make money, and just surrendering of like, all right, if I need to, I'll go broke. And I'm on my way. I'm not quite broke, but I've asked for help some of my family members, and they have, and that's great, but haven't been working as much. And I even opened up to each of my clients in a different way, but this is one of the beautiful parts of this story. I said something like, basically told one of my clients, like, look, I'm going through a tough time. Like, Brazil's hard. I'm lonely. I'm in a ton of pain. Mentally, physically, I'm struggling. And it was really hard to say that because I thought, like, it's been such a humbling experience to, like, coach other people and show up and hold space for them, even though, like, I'm living in hell. Even though earlier that day I'm thinking, like, shit, can I even show up? Do they even want to work with me? Like, I'm not worthy, I'm not valuable, all this negativity stuff, emotion stuff coming up for God knows why. It's just there. But when I told him this, he was like thanking me. He's like, wow, thanks for being honest. Like, a big reason I want to work with you is because you're on this healing journey and because I can learn from you, and I have, my similar disorder that we have in common. So the lesson from that was the thing I was holding back, the thing I was afraid to expose, to express to people, was actually one of the main reasons that this guy, amazing guy, wanted to work with me. So the lesson of that is, like, whatever you're resisting in yourself is your superpower that other people love you for. So that was super cool and beautiful. But basically I've just been, like, working really, really minimally and noticing that's, like, I feel like I'm not able to coach because I should have this super successful business, but that's totally fine. Just been really humbling. But so then my mom came to visit Brazil, which was tough, and my girlfriend's still there, so it's fine. But just, like, showing her around and not feeling well, and her seeing me not feeling well, and she's just, like, determined to get a solution. And it's tough because when I don't feel well, externally people are like, you need to do something more. But in that state of, like, overwhelm and pain and fatigue, the last thing I need is, like, to do more. The last thing I want to think is, like, oh, I'm so much pain, I'm not eating enough protein, I need to change this and adapt this behavior and exercise this many minutes a week and change this diet and see this healer. Like, that felt so heavy. So basically what I did for 1 week, I did nothing. I stopped my meditation practice, stopped talking to my coach, stopped talking to pretty much everyone who was, like, helping me and supporting me. It was just like, I'm doing this on my own. And I think that was necessary for a week, but I've started to add in the practices which feel better. But just to give you an idea, that's kind of where I was at. I was just like, yo, fuck everything. Nothing is helping. Nothing's working. So I'm just going to do nothing. I'm just going to sleep. I'm going to rest. I had this, like, regimen of morning routine, and which was, like, yoga and meditation and breathing exercises and journaling, of, like, all of these tools that I've been using that are supposed to keep me feeling good and keep my health in check and mental well-being in a good place. But none of that was working. So I just dropped everything. Looking back, which is actually kind of crazy, but I'm glad I did it. And then eventually I realized, like, all right, that was a little extreme, but then I started to slowly introduce and bring back other things. This is getting long. I hope my grandkids watch this someday and are inspired. So all right, so where are we at? So this is Brazil. So I stay at this house for basically 5 weeks, and it's struggling. I know it's not great, but I surrender. We get this routine. I eat fruit. I maintain a healthy diet. I'm doing what I can. I start reaching out to tons of people, receiving help, receiving support, just sometimes writing out, a shorter version of what I've explained depending on the time to people, and just, like, dumping my heart out and, like, oh, you're doing fine. Or some people are like, yeah, I'm going through stuff too. You're not alone. And whatever I heard just, like, usually helps to remind myself that I'm not just a prisoner to this circumstance that I find myself in. I'm not my emotions. I'm not my thoughts, not my feelings. I'm the space that all this exists. So that was kind of helpful. So then Brazil fades out. I felt like I really cultivated some inner resilience. It was just like talking to some people. Someone was like, you're playing the game of life on hard, because he was giving me great advice, or, like, just offering what has helped him in the past. But because I've got this unique body and headaches, he was trying to say, all right, wake up early and exercise. But when I wake up, I have such a bad headache. And sometimes when I run, I'll get an even worse headache, and then it triggers that. So it's like, I felt like I was just like tiptoeing this line, and on one side is chronic pain in my head, and the other side is like depression and fatigue, and a lot of the things that if I, want to help get away from the chronic pain and like rest, then it'll give me depression. If I want to get out of depression, I'll drink some coffee and exercise and do some more, yang activities. Gives me a headache. So I'm just like, he's like, wow, that's tough. I have some compassion for you that you're playing the game of life on hard. So that kind of became my mantra. I'm like, I'm playing the game of life on hard. And even though thoughts create a reality, and just saying that kind of sets me up to looking for the difficult things, I feel like that's how I truly feel. And I'm still playing. At least it's a game. It's not like, oh, I'm living life on hard and this sucks and I'm trapped. It's like, I understand this is all a game. And in these times of like just pure suffering and pain of just like, I don't feel good, or like I'm finally feeling good and playing music, and then someone comes with a cigarette and I'm just triggered, and I'm just like, now I have a headache and now I feel isolated because I can't be around them, and just going back and being so frustrated in my head and blah 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 blah. But in this, there's been a lot of like beautiful just moments of just like, no mud, no lotus. And the lotus flower is very beautiful, but it only emerges from mud. So I feel like I've been in so much mud, but every once in a while it's just like, boom, a beautiful lotus. So one of those nights, I was just not having a great day, like tired. Then I'm like getting high because I don't feel good. I have a headache, and I'm just like high but not happy, and just like in my head and blah, blah, blah. So I do the Wim Hof breathing, which I've basically taken off from for like 6 months, even though I've been like teaching it and leading sessions. I haven't been doing it myself because I've been doing the Buteyko method, which is pretty much the opposite. So I do this in my room for the first time in a while. And holy shit, it was just like, I traveled outside, out of my body, out of this dimension. It was like, it felt like a psychedelic experience. I'm like seeing lights. I'm just like, wow. June comes in to check on me because I'm like, I'm going in my room. It's tough for her because she sees I'm in so much pain, and she trusts that like I can handle it and I'll be fine. But when she sees I'm not in a good place, like I can't even speak to her sometimes. I'm just like, bed. And then she like wants to come in and help and take care of me, but there's really nothing she can do because I'm just like, I need silence, I need quiet, turn off the lights. So she comes in, try to help, and I'm like, June, thank you, but I'm having a deep spiritual experience. Can you please give me some alone time? So that was kind of funny. So anyways, I have this like huge Wim Hof. I'm like, holy shit, now I remember why I love Wim Hof so much. And it basically gave me this faith of like, all right, like you're connected to something awesome, and like you have the ability to feel awesome, and your love, and all these like spiritual texts and stuff that I've been learning about of like nothing matters, and we're just here to play and learn, and the soul's ascension to learn and grow in this lifetime. And I'm like, okay, this is awesome. Then I come back to my body, and I'm like, all right, feeling a lot better right now after that. Even though I was still in pain, it gave me this new perspective of more like identifying with like the energy and with the space instead of feeling like I'm trapped inside this body. Then the next night, I have my last consultation call with the Buteyko doctor, who, before that, I'm like, oh, now I can use the Wim Hof method. Even though it gives me a headache sometimes and it doesn't really help the headache, it gives me so much feel-good medicine of just like natural, neuroepinephrine, cortisol, the feel-good serotonin, these chemicals in our body and hormones that like, help with depression and feeling tired and fatigued. So I'm like, all right, this is my tool, my method I can use. Then the next day I have this call, and I told her that I did it and it felt really good. And she basically spends the whole conversation trying to talk me out of doing it, and why hyperventilation is bad, and how it's going to make me die younger and all these things. And I'm just like, fuck, right when I figure out like, oh yeah, I have this tool I can use that's going to help, someone else is like, don't do it. And that just like kind of sums up my journey, to be honest. Excuse me. It's time for a break. Been talking a lot, 35 minutes. So that sums up my journey. It's like I find something that's like, oh, this is good, and someone else is like, no, blah, 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 blah. Or even my body, it's like, oh, I think it's good, and then, poison and medicine kind of are on one big spectrum, and if there's too much poison, a little bit medicine. So I was like, oh, what do I fucking do? Like, figure it out. And I'm just like, so going crazy. So fast forward, I leave Brazil, leave my girlfriend June, which is sad, and I go visit my family. And as I described to my friend, I thought I was like, all right, I'm ready. I'm at the top of the mountain of like pain and suffering and like finally can go downhill and like feel better. But I feel like going to Florida, it was like there's this new peak that I saw. I'm like, oh, I gotta keep going up. Like it gets even harder. And so that was just tough being around family and just like really missing June. And again, I felt like just needing to like express and just like tell my story, and been doing a lot of spiritual work and really trying to like expand my boundaries of my belief and like really fully believe that like, all right, this is my energy and I'm sensitive and my energy body is open, but I need to do these practices. And I've been doing this guided meditation every day, which is like super out there. I spoke to this healer who's a channel of an ascended master. So apparently it's like this ascended master Chung Fu was enlightened, and now they've returned to this realm through someone else's body. And I know that if I bring this up to my extended family, they're going to be like, yo, what the hell are you smoking? And that's an assumption, but I'm like still trying to convince myself. So I don't want to bring this up to people and be like, well, I found a new thing for the headaches and I think it's this, because they're going to be like, well, you fucking crazy. You know, it's not like the most common belief. So that's where I'm at. And I went to Florida and I survived again another week, opened up, but still just not feeling well. Now I'm in Minnesota and I just don't know what to do. Like, just chilling. I'm just taking it one day at a time. Feeling good with the tea and some caffeine, and I actually put some marijuana oil in there because the caffeine gives me energy, takes me out of this like, oh, nothing matters, I don't want to do anything. I'm like excited, but then after it wears off, I get a headache, so I need to have some marijuana to have that cushion. And I know this isn't like a long-term sustainable diet of like, caffeine and then weed and more weed and caffeine just to get through the day. But I don't know, I'm just doing my best. And being here in America, a lot of people are on substances, so I'm just like conforming to that and trusting that this is what my body needs. And I don't know, man, I don't know, it's just crazy. This is crazy, but still hanging in there, playing the game of life on hard. And hopefully if you watch this, you got some takeaways from here, or you learned something, or if you have anything to offer to me, I'm open to it. Because there's even points in my trip Brazil, I'm like, give me any pharmaceutical pill out there. If it's going to help, I'm taking it. Just like really feeling desperate. And I guess it's challenging my belief system, because I do believe that like life only gives you the challenges that you can take, and the physical body only experiences the pain that it can take, because if it can't take the pain, then you'll go out of your body and you'll have its like outer body experience. You'll go into shock. So I know that physically I can handle this. I know that like spiritually the universe has given me challenges that I can take, but in the moment it's like accepting it, seeing it, embracing it, being grateful for it is not always the easiest thing. So thank you for watching. This has been very healing for me. And it's good just to talk through my process, and basically just like I feel like I've been telling myself this story for a while. Like, oh, this has been last 2 weeks, 2 months, whatever. But once I like put this into a video and like ship it, then it's like, all right, it's done. It's kind of like a comedy set routine. Like I practiced for a year, I did my special, I put it out there, and then now it's time to move on. Or I practiced a song, recorded it, sang it, got the live version, it's up there. Now it's time to write something new. So I feel like this is me bundling up this story, this past few months into a video and putting it out there, hoping that I can move on, that I can continue growing, continue transforming, continue helping other people, changing their lives, and just really feeling better, because I haven't been feeling very well recently. If you watch this all the way, I really would love to hear from you. Please leave a comment. Let me know what's on your mind. I'm aware I have so many blind spots, but again, I'm just doing my best. I love you so much. Thank you for watching, and hopefully this is helpful for you.